So now let us move on to Pundi Chinnappa Muralidharanji's paper, Significance of Environment in the Practice of Yoga.
ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे व्याख्यामुद्रां करसरसिजैः पुस्तकं शङ्खचक्रे बिभ्रद्भिन्नस्फटिकरुचिरे पुण्डरीके निषण्णः अम्लानश्रीः अमृतविशदैः अंशुभिः प्लावयन् माम् आविर्भूयात् नभमहिमा मानसे पादधीशः। श्री लक्ष्मी हयवदन परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। नमः सभाई सभापतिभ्यश्च, respected organizers, distinguished scholars, my dear audience. As Nagaraj sir said, the topic is significance of environment in the practice of yoga. So the significance in Bhagavad Gita, it is extolled about the greatness, importance of yoga shastra. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. The yoga brings in the skillfulness of action into a person who pursues it. Even in Paramasamhita, that is a Pancharatragama text which contains the replies of Bhagavan Vishnu to the inquisitive Brahma's queries, praises the yoga as an epitome of all knowledge. Jnananam khalu sarvesham yoga jnanam visishyate. Then we have the conducive atmosphere, that is the conducive environment. How the conducive environment plays a vital role, significant role in the practice of yoga, which is going to be explained here. The Shvetashvatara Upanishad says that it insists on suitable places for meditation. The following places which are prohibitive in nature, which are not suitable for yoga practice: uneven place filled with pebbles, fire, wind, dust, dampness, and disturbing noises. But however, the charming places with charming scenery and which are pleasing to the eyes, and the place may be surrounded by bowers, caves, or good water places. Such places are, however, exceptional. Same shuchau shakkara vanni valuka vivarjite shabda jalashayadibihi manonukule natu chakshu pidane guhanivata shrayane prayodane. Next, Bhagavad Gita also, it makes an emphasis on the environment. The aspirant who is free from desires and possessions, having subdued his mind, should retire to the secluded spot. Yogi yunjita sadatam atmanam rahasistitaha. In Uddhava Gita, Krishna gives advice to Uddhava that while giving advice, he talks about the environment. Uddhava Gita, which forms part of Srimad Bhagavatam, it says that if many dwell at one place, the possibility of noise and quarreling cannot be ruled out. Even a gathering of two persons will become a source of harmful gossip. Further, Krishna says to Uddhava that a true yogi aspirant should not only avoid the evil company of people craving for sensual pleasures, but he must shun the company of those who associate with such people. And developing an association with noble ones will help a person take away the attachment with his mind, just as a man who gets rid of cold, fear, and darkness after being exposed to fire, and so does the association with saintly people. Vase bahunam kalaho bhavedvarta dvayorapi tataha dussangam utsrijya satsu sajjeta buddhiman yetopashryamanasya bhagavantam vibhavasum Shitam bhayam tamopketi sadhun samsevatastata. Next, we have Matha. So, as as I said previously, the conducive atmosphere, all the Hatha Yoga text like Hatha Yoga Pradipaka, Yoga Yajnavalkya, Hatha Sanketa Chandrika, Shiva Samhita, Veranda Samhita, and even Markandeya Purana also, they are insisting to have a mata wherein the conducive atmosphere will provide. Okay. So in the Lingaya Surin, who is the commentator of Amarakosha, on his commentary Vivruti, he says that Matas Chatradi Nilaya. However, he interprets in a different way that it is the residential place of students. And however, Mayamata views that the Mata differently as. According to Mayamata, he views in a different way that it is a dwelling place. It is a dwelling place of ascetics. According to Mayamata, a treatise on housing, architecture, iconography. This way takes another dimension, that as the dwelling place of ascetics. Mathamiti patitam yati tapasanam nivasam. And the commonly known term ashrama denotes the places of ascetics normally, but it can bear the other names such as Parnashala and Utaja according to Amarakosha. Next, for the sake of meditation. For the sake of meditation, we have the avoidable places. For where the avoidable places and suitable place, it is explained in our Hatha Yoga text. And even Swami Vivekananda, he talks much about that. He talks extensively about that, about these aspects. The avoidable places are where there is apprehension of fire or water, or if a person finds the ground being strewn with dry leaves, or the place infested with ants, or there is danger of wild animals, or where the four streets converge, a noisy place, or the place of wicked persons, or the body, when the person's body feels lazy or ill, or under the person under the influence of sorrowful or miserable conditions of mind, or the dirty place. So during such place or during such state of mind, the person should not supposed to practice the meditation, that is yoga. And suitable place is well hidden place, or beautiful scenery places. And then yogic text on suitable place. So there are many yogic texts which talks about the suitable place for the practice of yoga. Yoga Yajnavalkya is one such text which considers the places such as temple, river banks, village, and also city for the construction of well-protected matha. Some sages endowed with austerities and self-study opine that the places chosen for the construction of matha must be uninhabited, beautiful, and bereft of heat and cold. That is explained here. Devalayeva nadyam va grameva nagare thava sushobhanam matham krutva sarvaraksha samanvitam kechit vadanti munayaham tapaswadhyaya samyutaham nirjane nilaye ramye pata tapa vivarjite. Then we have Hatha Yoga Pradipika text, which believes that a Hatha Yogi lives alone at a place where a mata is situated, which is free from rocks, water, and fire to the extent of a bow's length, and in a land that is virtuous, well-ruled kingdom, prosperous, and free from disturbances. Surajye dharmike deshe subikshe nirupadrave धनु प्रमाण पर्यंतम शिलाग्नि जल वर्जिते एकांतवटिका मध्ये स्थातव्यम हठ योगिना. Then the Hatha Sanketa Chandrika, which lists out the following places that are suitable and unsuitable. They are slopes of mountain, castle, uninhabited or beautiful, the place where caves are situated, or the place which is bereft of sin, places of worship, places where alms are available, the state which is ruled by a righteous king, places full of riches, and places, the clean location. The unsuitable places are thorns, places which is filled with thorns or dry leaves, ant hills full of mosquitoes are not suitable for the construction of mata, and even prohibits the construction of this structure, fertile and saline lands or a desert, and also at places with snow or heat, or in burial ground and at places of worship. And even it prohibits the old building, sacrificial shed, confluence points of sea and river, or on roads. The practice has been prohibited. Next, we have Markandeya Purana, which talks about the avoidable place. In the place which is infested by snakes, noisy, infested by fire or water, or in a decayed cow shed, or at the converging point of four roads, and amid the collection of dry leaves, in a river or in a burning ground, in a place of fear, or on the edge of a well, or at places overgrown by ant hills and funeral piles. So these are all avoidable places. सशब्दाग्नि जलाभ्यासी जीर्ण गोष्ठे चतुष्पथे शुष्क पर्णचये नद्यां श्मशाने ससरीसृते सभये कूपतीरे वा चैत्यवल्मीक संचये दशेष्वेतेषु तत्त्वज्ञः योगाभ्यासं विवर्जयेत् तत्त्वस्य अनुपपत्तौ च देशकालं विवर्जयेत्. Geranda Samhita also that favors the places which is suitable for the matha. Forest places which are near to the capital, or near to the capital or the metropolitan city, or the place which is far off. So these are the places are not recommended by the Geranda Samhita. And poet Krishna Mishra, the 11th century poet, he makes an emphasis on having a suitable conditions for doing meditation in his wonderful work, allegorical paper, Bodha Chandrodaya, that the river banks are serene places ideal for the spiritual upliftment. The sandy river banks marked by the grain fallen from the mouth of birds and antelope and being inhabited by sailors. Nivarankita Sarikatani Saritam Kulani Vaikhanasaihi Akrantani. Next, we are talking about the external features of mata. How the external features of mata should be, it is being described here. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika text, it talks about the mata should be very neat and tidy, smeared with cow dung and devoid of insects. It shall be neither too high, not too low, or not too long. It shall have a small door but without windows. It should be level and free from any holes. It can have features with a small hall, like mandapa outside, with a rice receipt, well, and surrounded by a wall. So these are the characteristics of yoga matha as laid down by the persons or by the experts in Hatha Yoga. Then we have internal features of mata. The Hatha Sanketa Chandrika, which lays down the features of internal features of mata. So the Hatha Sanketa Chandrika talks about the need of a yogin pasting the pictures containing God images on the wall, by which whenever he looks at the wall, he could get himself energized besides encouragement. He can also draw pictures containing images of burial ground and other terrible forms, looking at which will help him develop a sense of detachment from the worldly life, of course, which is plagued by sorrow, misery, disease, etc. Practice in one's house. So, how the yoga text that is favoring to the practice of yoga abhyasa, that is practice of yoga in homely atmosphere. Particularly before that, one important thing is the Hatha Sanketa Chandrika text. It talks about if a person who does not adhere to the proper place and time for the practice of yoga may be affected by the following 6 psychological and physiological health issues, which include loss of memory, dumbness, then dullness, fever, sluggishness, and deafness.
Muralidharan ji, are you able to
Yes.
see your presentation on your computer screen?
Yes, sir. I'm able to say.
Please look at that presentation only.
Yes, sir.
Then you will be facing the audience.
Yes,
You
sir.
are looking into some book and you are bending your head.
Okay, sir.
So we are not able to see you facing the audience.
Okay, sir.
Please face your screen and
Okay.
look at the screen and speak with the help of the screen itself. Then you will be facing the audience.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this includes the loss of memory, dullness, fever, sluggishness, and deafness. The Markandeya Purana, which adds another dimension of physical disorder, that is blindness. बाधिर्य जडता लोपः स्मृतेर्मूकत्वम् अन्धता स्वरश्च जायते सद्यः तत्त्वज्ञान योगिनः. Then Hata Sanketa Chandrika text also lays a greater emphasis on the need of a yogin to use the ghee lamp and not the oil lamp, because the smoke generated from the oil lamp stays afloat in the atmosphere, trickling down into the lungs, affecting the person practicing the kumbhaka, that is the pranayama, retention of the breath. So therefore, if we use the ghee instead of oil, it won't make such health hazard. Okay, then practice in one's house. So some yoga texts ponder over the idea of an aspirant practicing yoga in the house itself while discharging his householder duties. Yoga Yajnavalkya text.
Do you have the source from which you are reading as a soft copy? Do you have a Word file?
Sir, I have my PPT presentation right in front of me, sir. And I have the hard copy.
Either you please look into the PPT presentation and speak, or bring up the Word file in which this whole material you are reading out. You are reading out from some paper, probably, which is kept on the table, and you are bending to look into that paper. Instead of that, it will be better if you bring up the Word file. Otherwise, it's okay. For today, it's okay. For future presentations, I think this is an advice to you. Not to have a paper and bend into the paper and read. It's a good way to, if there is a Word file, bring it up on the screen and read from that Word file.
Okay, definitely. So the Yoga Yajnavalkya, Hata Sanketa Chandrika, and Shiva Samhita text, they are favoring to the adherence of householder who must stick to the householder duties while practicing the yoga. Swashramam dharmam acharan chaturnam ashramasthanam ahanyahani nityashaha vidyukta karma kartavyam sadashramastaha sadacharaha. And in Shiva Samhita text it says grihasthanam bhavet siddhihi ishwaranam japena vai yehe stitva putradharadi purnaha sangam tyatva chantare yogamarge. Then utility of matha. So the utility of matha, the person, for the yogis spiritual evolution, mere choosing of places, sites, aesthetic beauty of structures, etc. in the construction of matha in accordance with the text on yoga alone is not enough. If a yogi does not go for the optimal utilization of monasteries in line with the ideal set forth by great saints who promoted yoga selflessly, considering it as a place of recreation center or a place of retreating from routine work, a tourist center, eating place, etc., then spending on money, time, effort, and human labor by a yogi would not be of a worthy exercise. See, the Rajagopalacharya, who is the former president of Sri Ramachandra Mission, which propagates the Sahaja Marga Yoga, says that an ashram is a place for us to get shreyas, that is betterment. An ashram is essentially a place where one goes to be with his master, that is Guru, and to grow spiritually. So now now the conclusion part has come. Our ancient seers and exhibited their exhaustive knowledge on environmental aspects that are essential in the preservation of beings, animate and inanimate, and their wisdom can be gleaned from their several works explained in this paper, such as Hatha Sanketa Chandrika, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, etc. For example, in Hatha Sanketa Chandrika, it touches down the aspects on prohibition of creating the matha at places such as fertile and saline land or at desert, etc. So now, what will happen? The construction of matha on fertile land will affect the fertility of the soil, leading to its degradation. If it is on saline land, people associated with this structure may run the risk of health hazard after exposing to the use of saline water. Due to non-availability of water in the desert will result in people staying at this structure undergo severe hardships by compromising their health status, which will defeat the very purpose of practicing meditation by the aspirants. Hence, as we have seen earlier, the atmosphere and the place where one tries to practice yoga should be pleasant and conducive to one's effort. So in conclusion, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that how much environmental awareness has percolated down in the minds of followers of yoga philosophy, which is one of the identity of our Hindu tradition. With this, let me conclude. I thank the organizers for having given me this opportunity to share some of my views with the wider part of audience. And initially, some technical glitches were there, so I'm very sorry for that. And thank you, Nagaraj sir, for your valuable comments. In the near future, whatever the presentation I will do, I will follow your words, sir. And then at this juncture, I would like to say that Sambhavi, she presented a paper. At this juncture, I would like to say proudly that I am the alumni of Madras Sanskrit College. Because Sambhavi, she also said that she was the alumni of Madras Sanskrit College. And I am also proud to say that I am the employee of Kutuswami Shastri Research Institute, Mailapur, Chennai. It was existence of 75 years. So this is appeal to everyone attending this conference that whoever finds time, you please make visit to our institute. We have 60,000 books and 1,500 manuscripts. Everybody, I want, this is my appeal, this is my humble appeal to everyone. If you find time, if you happen to come to Chennai, I want you to make a visit to our institute and you can see. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Namaste, Muralidharan ji. Thank you very much. This was a very good paper. This was a very important topic. Actually very essential for the understanding of significance given to environmental protection. Why environmental protection was important for Rishis particularly. The Rishi and the Rishi concept is very important right from the Vedic mantras. And then you have Rishis were yogis. And you had all kavyas reflect a description of rishis and yogis and their forest environment. They are always located inside the forest environment. Why such a forest-rich landscape was very important. Why such environmentally nature protected environment was landscape was very significant for yoga centric culture, a yogi centric culture like Hinduism is a very important argument. In fact, Muralidharan ji can build that argument from that perspective and bring up a beautiful paper or a book that is very important.